Okay, now we have this onSubmit method working from the job form in one area, but you know this could get messy. To my thinking, I'm like, this could get messy. This needs to be modularized. It needs to be modularized so that each form, so that each page will handle its own onSubmit functionality, right? So the edit will handle its own functionality, but also the create new will handle its own functionality alone, and that is the functionality that now we want to create. So to do that, let's go back to the job form, and in this onSubmit method, let me momentarily just comment this out, right? So now you can see the edit, the button isn't doing anything. And the same thing on create, the button isn't doing anything. So let's create this functionality to do. I mean, we are going to call the onSubmit method from each component. So to do that, we are going to create another decorator. So this is the output, and as already discussed, that components, the way data moves between components is through inputs and output decorators. The input is when data is coming from a parent component, a child component, and output is the vice versa. So it's going from a child to a parent. And so to do that, I'm going to create something here called on button clicked, right? This will be new event type. So we'll have to import this. You can see it has imported right here. And this event emitter will emit an object of job. So like that. And so once we have that right here, and we are saying job. So when I click on this button, I want to emit that using that emitter that I have created. So the job form is right here. And then I call this method and say this dot on button clicked emit. And what do I want to omit? I want to omit this job data object, right? Okay, so now it's still not doing anything. I mean, it is emitting, but it's not. We have not yet implemented the onSubmit functionality because we are going to do that in each different form. So we have the edit here. I'll go to the component where I'm injecting the job form, this one here, into the edit job page. And I'll come here and say, did I say that? So let's come and say on button clicked, I want to click on, actually let me call this method on pages, on update, right? So, but when we call it, we pass an event, all right? So the event that we are getting from the emitter. So I'll go back to the method, I mean to the edit component right here. And we already had a former submit. We can just get rid of this. So the method is called on update. And this will going to add an object of job, and it returns void, right? And what we are getting right here is the alert. So let's just, for now, let's just pass the alert so that we get the normal functionality that we've been working with. The job has been updated successfully. Okay. So let's see if that is working fine. Okay, so save all. We haven't saved it. I think here. Let's see if that solves the issue. Update, right? But then we want, after updating, we want to go back to the previous page. And for that, I'm going to inject the router, import it as well. So we say this router dot navigate by URL, and we are going back to my jobs, right? Okay, so that should work now. Perfect. So then let's also implement the same, because with the create functionality now of the page, we haven't yet created a method on it, so it does nothing. So let's go back to create job, and here where we call this particular component, we are going to add on button clicked. We create a method called on create, and let's just pass an event that was emitted from this component right here. So let's go back to its TypeScript file, and removed other classes. So I'll just add them for now. Emit as a constructor, because we are going to need it to. We are going to need the constructor to go back to inject some dependencies. For example, going back to the previous page, right? I mean, we may not need the on method, but we will need this. So the method that we are creating is called on create, and it has, let's pass the object that, and here we are going to say alert, and here we are going to say major has been created. And after that, we want to go back to the route, I mean to my jobs. So to do that, we have to inject the router in here, and this that router that navigate by URL. We are going back to my jobs. So this should also work now. Let's test it out. So create job, new job has been created. We go back home. So I feel this is better for modularity, I guess, like for testing purposes, because if we are just doing it from one central place, like from the job, I think this could get a little bit complicated or confusing if we have to, like in the next video where we're going to implement the capability to actually create a job and see it in the database, or delete a job, or update a job. I feel it's better handled right here. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.